Okay, hi everybody. My name is Ricardo Oliveira. I'm from UCLA, and this is a presentation about Cyclops. So actually, this is just an update, basically, on a tool that was presented last year, NANOG, and it pretty much everything changed except the name and the logo. The logo is still the same. So what is new in Cyclops? Well, basically, right now we have user profiles in the tool. So basically, users are able to input network configurations such as prefixes, AS neighbors, AS origins, and so on. And Cyclops is able to trigger alerts based on this information. So it's able to detect events such as routing leaks, prefix hijacks, origin changes, and so on. We also provide global visibility in terms of AS adjacencies, AS relationships, and other type of information, like link weights, number of routes that go through each link. In addition to that, we also have a feature now that allows you to monitor routes to DNS servers, such as root servers. I'm going to go over that in the next slides. We also have a new feature called anomaly listings. Basically, it gives you a list of anomalies such as bogus ASNs, block-on prefixes, and prefixes that are longer than /24 and appear in the global routing system. So the basic architecture of the tool is that on the left side you have the rules of expected behavior. So this is information that is input by the user. And this information includes the set of ASs that you own, your network own, the set of prefixes, and the set of AS neighbors. And based on this information, the Cyclops backend basically collects all the BGP routing feeds from hundreds of sensors across the network, including vantage points from route views and RIPERIs and ECH and Abulin. So about more than 700 vantage points right now. Aggregates all this information, and whenever it sees a BGP announcement or a routing table entry that conflicts with information that the user inputs, it triggers an alert. And the types of alerts the tool includes right now, we have alerts that work on the prefix level, and we have alerts that work on the AS level. On the prefix level, there's mainly three types of alerts: origin change, and this can be triggered because either a prefix hijack or someone else decided to announce your prefix caused by a misconfiguration. There's also alerts caused by next hop changes. If your prefix goes always through a certain provider and suddenly switch to a second provider. And then there's the more specific alert, when a more specific version of one of your prefixes is being announced by someone else. On the AS alerts side, we have three types of alerts. New prefix alerts, it means that your AS is announcing a prefix that is not on your prefix list. The new neighbor alert basically is an alert trigger whenever you appear connected to another ES that is not on your neighbor list, and this type of alert can be triggered because someone is doing a false link attack, for instance. The other type of alert is transit, and this is common in routing leaks. So transit AS, if you're a stub AS, there's going to be an alert if your AS is going to appear in the middle of some path providing some transit that is not supposed to provide. So I'm going to give you an overview of how to configure your information in the tool. You can access the tool, by the way, in www.cyclops.cs.ucla.edu or just cyclops.cs.ucla.edu. So the first thing you need to do is you need to create an account. So there's a link there on the right side that will allow you to do that. You'll receive a confirmation email. You need to click there to confirm the registration. After you're done, then you can start configuring your information. First thing to do is to add your own prefixes. And for that, you can just input your AS name here or your AS number, and Cyclops will automatically detect all the prefixes announced by your network. And you can later add this to the system. So you can see here, UCLA have all these prefixes here. And you can uncheck the boxes that corresponds to false positives, prefixes that you don't want to monitor. The next thing to do is to configure what type of alerts you want to see on each of these prefixes. And you can do that using these boxes here. So you can see there's the origin change alert, next hop alert, and the more specific alerts. So the tool gives you flexibility to configure all these alerts, and also you can include here on this column the S numbers that are allowed to originate each of these prefixes. On the second column, we have the allow next hops. So this is basically, actually I don't have any case here, but you can have multiple AS numbers here. It's basically a logical bar. On this next thing you're going to do is to add your AS numbers. In this case, we've seen here AS52, UCLA, and you can basically type here your organization name. In Cyclops, you automatically find your AS numbers. And then you configure basically the type of, before that, this is the AS neighbors actually. So there's a third step here, which for each AS, you basically tell Cyclops which are your neighbors. And again, the tool can detect these automatically. If you type just the AS number, the tool can automatically detect all the neighbors. And finally, you configure the tool so that you you can basically tell Cyclops which alerts you want, what type of alerts you want to receive. And here I'm talking about AS level alerts. There's 3 different types of alerts, as I mentioned: new prefix, new neighbor, and transit alert. And after all this process is done, you're ready to start receiving alerts. And actually, the alerts will come in the form of emails, and it will also be, they will also be included in the web interface, and you can access the web interface and see the list of all your alerts. In this case, we're looking at 2 alerts, a transit type alert and a new neighbor alert. And you can double-click these links here and get more information about each alert, like the BGP message that trigger each alert, the number appears that saw each alert, and so on. This is an example of an email alert. The nice thing about this is now you have this feature in which you can click the link and mark the alert as false alert, so that whenever you have a recurring event that trigger the same alert, it will basically be disabled, and you will not be receiving alerts that are basically false positives again. The next slides are basically some cases I found out using the anomaly menu here. So basically, it's the bogons case and bogus ASNs. In this case, it's a bunch of bogons that Cogent was announcing. This is another example I found out possible misconfiguration hijack. This prefix is usually announced by AS701 and was announced by AT&T at some point. And yeah, so basically, we need your feedback. Please go to the website, register, it's free, and send me feedback to, you can use this email, cyclops@ucla.edu. We also have a Facebook group if you want to join. And that's about it. Thank you so much.
So we got room for 1 or 2 questions, if anybody has any questions. Okay, thank you, Ricardo.